very short. As a matter of fact, it's 21,000 words, and I looked up the most famous Christmas story of all time, which is Charles Dickens' *The Christmas Carol*, and it's 28,000 words. So it's shorter than *The Christmas Carol*. But I'm very happy with the reception and the nice cover that they did. It's funny being a tough guy author, writer, Philip Marlowe, Raymond Chandler, Sam Spade. I used to kind of, when I was a kid, a boy, I used to mock my friend's sister for always bringing home these romantic books with, the dashing guy and the mysterious background. And now I wrote one. So the joke is on me, I guess. but I wanted to write. I've always loved Christmas, and I've always wanted to write a nice little Christmas fable, mystery. Not exactly a Hallmark Channel, boy meets girl thing. And they're lovely. To me, they're like having a
Ronald, cuando acabes ahí te tienes que sentar aquí, ¿ok? No te lo puedo hablar porque todo lo oyen. Tuve que pagar.
He is right. We were hearing her. Lou, you may want to put your whatever device you're on kind of like on a surface where we don't get movement. We're getting a lot of movement on the screen.
Okay, I cannot say that.
Okay, so we are taking a break right now. Oh, that's perfect, Lou. And then unmute yourself.
I should have thought of that before. Sorry. Can you hear me okay and see me okay?
Yeah, much better, much better. There's no movement now.
Good. So I always wanted to write a Christmas story, and with again nothing. I actually like the Hallmark movies because they're so sweet in a way, and they're pretty and the women in no other channel or movies in Hollywood is very dark mostly these days. In fact, there are more serial killers on television than there's ever been in real life, and one gets tired of that kind of darkness and kind of anti-human stuff. So I wanted, Christmas is a time, especially this year. I mean, this has been a brutal year for so many people of all ages, kids and seniors, and so I was just happy that that I had chosen this as a book, and as the year went on and got worse, I wrote harder. And I still didn't think that I would finish it in time for this Christmas. But when I handed it in, the publisher was so happy to get a good Christmas story that they rushed it into print. And so, here I am a year early, and I'm very happy about that. And I'm very happy you guys are here. So the other thing I wanted to specialize in, and please let me know if you agree or disagree, because I write a column for the American Spectator. You can look up Spectator and Lou Aguilar, and I'm kind of I'm kind of like the cultural arts opinionist and critic, and I'm kind of on a crusade for distinguishing real men and real women. And if you look at most movies or TV today, you have some skinny actress going around beating up 200-pound men, like karate and high, and it's ridiculous. And there's no feminine pretty. There's no moms. There's no wives. They're all like either cops or lawyers. They're men basically. They're just rewritten. So I wanted to go back. I'm a traditionalist conservative writer, and I wanted, and I know women. I wanted to write about dashing, heroic men, and strong, emotionally feminine women, and so I thought the romance genre and Christmas, and I mean, I don't want to give anything away. It does have a fantasy aspect to it. You don't know right away, but eventually one does come out. Am I okay, Roxy? Is that
You're
okay?
perfect. You
Okay.
are perfect.
And it's a mystery. It's about a female journalist who has an accident at sea. She basically falls into the sea from a boat, and she's rescued by this. She tries to make it to an island where there's a lighthouse, an old, kind of like our lighthouse right here. Kind of like an old, and in fact, the inside of the lighthouse, the stairwell, the curving stairwell going to the top. It's because I've been to our lighthouse, and it inspired me. But she's rescued. She's done. She has no chance. It's Maine for one thing, and it's freezing. She's going to live about 10 minutes at the most. But just when she thinks it's all over, she's rescued by a dashing man on a sailboat who basically saves her and takes her in and saves her and warms her up. And they spend a night, a very sweet night conversing and him basically getting her back in shape. And then the next morning he's gone. He disappears, and she's rescued by the Coast Guard, and she spends about most of the book trying to figure out who is this guy? Is he real? Was she in a state of shock? Just imagine the whole thing, and so that's the mystery of it. Who is Tate, the guy? And she becomes kind of fixated on the idea, and her fiance, is her obligatory rich fiance, is going crazy because she's more interested in this guy who may not even exist than she appears to be in him. I just thought that was a nice dynamic for a story, and what the resolution is, well, you'll have to read. But again, the idea of, for instance, as a boy, I had plenty of role models. For once in westerns. Well, I have no idea what young boys. I have no idea what young boys are watching today, if they're watching anything. There are no role models that I can tell. So I just thought the idea of a dashing kind of military guy rescuing the woman physically. He rescues her physically, but she herself is extremely strong-willed and strong, and I think of a very dynamic, very great role model, both of them, for men and women.
I know that you mentioned that this is not a Hallmark movie, but it has all the essential ingredients for a fantastic Christmas movie on either Lifetime or Hallmark. Is that where you're going with this?
Well, I'm actually going, so if we're talking show business, I'm actually looking more as an independent feature film. That if we ever get to go back to theaters, we can actually go to see it. I was thinking more, Hallmark are very formulaic. And this is way outside the formula. It's got boats. It takes place out in the sea. It's got, Hallmark always has the same town set and the big city set and the town set. And either the man or the woman goes from one to the other and always ends up in a small town and falls in love with it, which is it's a great formula. But this is different. And it's richer. I mean, again, nothing wrong with Hallmark, but it's richer and deeper, and it's the idea of my heroine Caroline York, kind of aristocratic, writes for a high-end women's magazine. And if you write enough for I don't even know, Vogue or Harper's, if you write enough for those for a while about fashion and food and frolic and you kind of want something more. Something, is there no more? Is there more to life than celebrities? And the story catches her at just that point where she doesn't know whether to get married to this guy, and she's at a crossroads basically when this happens to her, and a new avenue, a new direction for her opens up.
So if you had to pick who would play these two wonderful characters, do you have any idea?
You mean who? You mean actors?
Yes.
Well, they're about 30, both of them, and God, I would have said 10 years ago, 15, I would have said Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I mean, of course you go for the gold right off the bat, but they've kind of aged themselves out of it. I have no idea who the young actors are today. They're all annoying. That's all I know. Most of them are annoying. But if you could picture Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, who were both, I mean, you're not going to get a prettier couple than that, but also very talented, both of them, very, very introspective. And I that's the best I can do, Roxy. I have no idea who's around today. I do work part-time in the movie business, although it's been a while since I've had a movie made from my scripts, which is just as well because they were monster movies. But there's some lovely people that you've never heard of. There's a lovely actress that I if I was like Spielberg, I would cast her instead of a name, because
do you see this as part of an ongoing series?
No,
just a standalone?
My middle book from 2 years ago, Paper Tigers. I don't know if you guys were here for that one.
Yeah.
And Paper Tigers, I would love to write more about those two, but it needs more of a. I guess I have to write a bestseller so people will go back and look at Paper Tigers. I have to be the Dan Brown. But this one, no. This one has a beginning and an ending and over. On to the next one.
I know you mentioned you wanted to do a little bit of you wanted to read us a little excerpt from the book.
If you guys wouldn't mind, a very short snippet. I used to love adventure stories, and so I'm going to do a little cliffhanger for you. Very short. Is that, am I okay? Sound and video?
Perfect.
Excuse me. Now we're all in Key Biscayne, where it's nice and warm, but you have to imagine a cruise ship off of Boston, Maine, and she's already fallen in the water. Caroline thrashed in the ocean for a good while before realizing she was still afloat, thanks to the life jacket. She managed to turn around to where the cruise ship had been and no longer was. Only open sea spanned before her. She heard a faint rendition of "I'll Be Home for Christmas." Turning left, she caught sight of the boat moving rapidly away. Her shouts of "no" and "stop" blended with the fading music. By the time she quit yelling, the song could no longer be heard. She began to sob. "God help me," she prayed for the first time since childhood. A beam of light shone down on her. It came not from heaven, but the lighthouse to her left, The island where it stood seemed so close, she thought she could swim to it, like Charlize Theron. The women I play can do anything men can do, and better, Charlize had told her in an interview. But it was time to prove her right. She began to swim with strong, swift strokes. The light swept away, and darkness enveloped her, sapping her resolve. The cold bit into her. She swam as if the exercise would warm her until she could no longer feel her arms. Her strokes slowed, then ceased. She looked ahead. The lighthouse seemed no closer. An icy wave splashed her back and kept rolling toward the island. She envied it. Her own forward motion had stopped for good. Up or down was the only movement that awaited her in the afterlife. Down would be preferable, she thought, hell being hot and dry. That's it. Now, what happens to her? I hope you're all in suspense. I have to buy the book.
Now, would you say this is, would you give this to a young adult?
Yes,
say if you
yes,
have
yes,
a-
yes. I would love to, the opinion. I know the romance is mostly a female genre, but I think my guy, there's a flashback section in there that I think guys would love and women will love, and of all ages. It's completely sweet, and it's the kind of book I used to read when I was very young. What happened? Kind of like a cliffhanger, right? Like, what you're in the water with her, and that's how literature should be, I think.
do you have any other projects going on right now?
I always have projects, Roxy. I've got, well, one thing I want to try to get a movie made from this one, and there's people interested. There's some names that are interested. My favorite writer, Raymond Chandler, had a quote that I love: "Put all comments on the check." basically talk is cheap, and he didn't want to deal. He didn't want to deal with yackers. He just. So I aspire to be like him. So I don't know whether it's going to go or not, but there's interest in it. And then I want to start my new book, which is an epic of Hollywood. If anybody can write an epic of Hollywood, it's me.
In the book, are we going to recognize or think we recognize any local characters from Key Biscayne?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I would love to write a Key Biscayne book, though.
I think we definitely have a lot of interesting people on this island.
I think I would write to, yeah. The thing about Key Biscayne is it's so peaceful, It's so peaceful, and I'm sure there's some kind of sordid activity going on beneath the pulsating surface, but.
Do you want to take some questions, Lou? Do you
I would
want
love
to
to.
see if anybody has any questions for you? You feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand, and I can call on you. Renee, what would you like to ask?
Do you sell the book?
This virtual Zoom thing is killing me. I hope that you guys, I think Roxy, you put something up for where to go. Please,
yes.
Please go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble and order. It's only $10, and I will sign. Roxy, you're arranging something so I can sign it for these people, right?
Yes, basically what we were hoping to do is that once you get your book, you can drop that off at the community center with my name. Hopefully by December 15th, I will then take the books to Lou, have them signed, and deliver them to you personally with a big file.
And Renee, I thank you for the question. I really, it's a great publisher. They did a lovely job on the book, but they're not Viking or Random House or, and so they're very limited in their promotional budget. So I'm depending on you and your family to basically get the book and give it to people, which will help a lot. And if you like it, to give it a nice review on Amazon, which helps.
Lorena, you need to unmute yourself.
Lou, does Caroline York or York, I don't know,
York.
the hero, was she inspired by somebody you know?
Yeah, there's always a little bit of people of all the women that I've known. There's always a little bit. No, yes.
Like
Yeah, I try to make them as real as possible. So I thank you for the question. It's not like my last one, which was basically about me. But yes, there's a little bit of every, classy, initially snobbish woman.
like maybe your friend Lorena?
Lorena, there's a little bit of you in there. And that is that basically, Carol, thanks for the question again. Caroline, although a high-end, very, very sophisticated writer and obviously Caroline York, I mean, you can't be very much more royal than that. She has an affinity for working people, and that's how she gets in trouble. On the boat is she decides to give the crew of the boat a little bit of champagne, which is why she's, that's how she gets into trouble. But she's always thinking about the working people. So that's like you.
Lou, is there a reason you did not
Thank you.
place the book in Key Biscayne and decided to go up to Boston or Maine? I mean, I feel kind of slighted.
Well, if you fall in the water on Key Biscayne, you can probably stay there for a few hours, doing backstrokes and stuff. It didn't have quite the sense of danger. Also, I'm a big fan of English literature, books like Jane Eyre or Christmas Carol, and I wanted that, and plus Christmas. You wanted that. Key Biscayne, as try as it might, is not very Christmassy.
That's true.
Anyone else? Anyone has any more questions for Lou? Well,
I loved your presentation.
Oh,
It was fun.
Yes.
Oh, Rainey, yes. Oh, thank you very much. This little thing right here.
Yeah,
Oh, well, thank you.
it was cool.
Now I have to write another book to do it again.
Yeah. Keep it up.
Yes, thank you very much, and
Keep it
thanks for
up.
coming.
Good luck.
It
Good
means-
luck with
It
it.
means a lot, and I'm very happy. Roxy keeps asking about Key Biscayne. I'm very happy to start, especially this year when I won't be doing much. I won't be doing much physical traveling or signings. I mean, what good is it going to LA? I'd be arrested just for walking into a store, or Washington or New York. I mean, they're all closed up. So, but I love launching my books here, and I hate to put any weight on you guys, but if anything you can do to help launch the book is very, very helpful. And coming
fine.
your way.
Yeah. Even the cover looks good.
Oh, thank you, Renee. Yeah, I'm very happy with what the publisher did on such a short book. And they could have very easily said, too short, it's not worth our time, but they liked the story, as I hope you guys will.
I need help with the mobile.
Well, if you lack any inspiration, I can put you in touch with some of these wonderful ladies that you see on their screen.
Oh, yeah.
Stories are will make wonderful writing material for you.
Oh, sure. I mean, when we can all start getting together, I'm gonna try to spend more time at the center.
Well, we'll definitely have you back once we open our doors to the public and are able to gather in person again. This definitely deserves a repeat, and you may be
Yeah.
doing some in-person signing of your books. And I encourage everyone to go to Amazon, go to Barnes and Nobles, look it up, read about it. The reason why I ask is because, young ladies, young men too, but young ladies love romance. If you have a daughter, a grandchild, a niece, I think what a better gift than a book and reading for the holidays, since they should not be going out and doing anything else right now during Christmas. They should be staying put and staying safe. So Thank-
Roxy, let me just say that's perfectly said. And the reason the publisher put it out is because they said, this is the perfect gift book
Yeah.
for people. This is just what they need. No, that's not me, although I certainly agree. But they put it out, and it's up to you guys. I mean, it's out of my hands now, and in yours, hopefully.
thank you, Lou. Thank you for your time, for sharing
Thank you.
your projects with us. The Christmas spirit is available for you. Pick it up. What a great way to get into the holiday spirit. For those of you who are joining us every Thursday, I will see you next week with another wonderful program. Once again, Lou, thank you so much. I'm going to share the poster one more time for anyone who wants to take notes.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you.
Merry
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Felices Pascuas.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ya yo compré el libro.
Yeah.
Mm,
I just bought the book.
right.
Thank you. Caroline is your name, right? From the Key Biscayne community?
No, my name is Roxy.
Roxy. Okay, thank you, Roxy.
Thank you, Lorena.
Have a great Christmas. I have a sweater with the Christmas.
Oh, pretty.
Maybe you can join us on the 23rd and wear your sweater,
good.
although that one is not very ugly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
There we are.
On the 23rd. Okay, I'm looking forward. What is that ask?
Well, what I can do is I'll get your information from Lou and I'll give you a call and we can chat about all of our wonderful programs.
Yeah, the ask, do
Ask
I
Club.
log into Ask Club or
Yep. The Ask Club.
the askclub.com or?
No, I'll send you all the information and that way you can look through all of our programs and I hope to see you very, very soon so that you can become a regular, so like these wonderful folks that you see on screen.
Thank you, Roxy.
You're
Goodbye.
welcome. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
It was good. He did a good
Bye.
job. Very good.
Great. It was
Hi,
great.
Renee.
Very nice. It was very entertaining.
Gracias, Lou.
Hi, Roxy. Bye.
Bye, Sylvia.
Bye, Roxy.
Goodbye,
Thank
Mary.
you.
Hi, Joni.
Bye bye. Hi, Jill.
Hi.